Alright, spawning here at the bottom right, we got our blue Terran player playing for the team of Shopify Rebellion. Please give it up for Byun. And spawning here at the top left, we got our red Protoss. He is playing for the team of Storm Gaming. Give it up for MAXPAX. And already we are starting off this series with a bang. This is a best of 7 series. And it's going to be a PvT between these two lovely players. And Byun is electing to start off with a bang. Of course, you know, Byun, one of the players that is quite unpredictable. I think that's the reason why many players, even in in terms of tournament play, maybe in the group stage, or even just a single or double bracket elimination tournaments, Byun is not someone who you regularly want to face against because he can bring up a lot of surprises, and that's exactly what Byun is going for this game. He is going to start off with a bang, and MAXPAX unfortunately doesn't scout this. He did not send a probe out across the map, so he is pretty much in the dark. Now Byun is not all in with this. He is just going to go ahead and just make one Reaper. Let's see how much damage this Reaper can get. Ring around the rosy. Can he get a second one? The third one, sorry. Yeah, so he gets 3 probes in total for 1 Reaper, and I think Byun will be satisfied with that trade. But again, you know, that is something that can happen when you do not scout. And MAXPAX, I think he kind of expected Byun to just play it straight up for this first game, just to feel each player out. But Byun was like not having it. He was like, I am just gonna go for it. Try to keep you on guard for the rest of the series. Of course, this is a best of 7 series, so you know, mind games can come into play. Oh, nice little shade trick there, trying to activate the Widow Mine, but Byun will go ahead and unburrow that Widow Mine in time. Looks like Byun is going to go ahead and just open up with a kind of a 1-1-1 build here, while MAXPAX on the other side going for a Blink Stalker opening now. So Sushi, if you guys don't know, is our admin, was our admin helping out. But yeah, let's see how many gateways MAXPAX elects to go for. It seems like he's going for 3 only. Now we have seen, of course, some variations of this. Some Protosses like to go for 4 gateway blinks, go for more of an aggressive type of opening. You know, just to put on some pressure against their opponents. But then you do see sometimes just, you know, maybe just 2 gateways. Just to, you know, because there's really not a lot of, unless like the Terran players is going for 3 racks, there's really not a lot of pressure in the early game that the Terran can do against Protoss. Or not pressure, but like a hard push. You know, mainly they will go for harassment type of openings, but really besides maybe a 3 racks, there's really not like an early timing that you see Terrans can go for. And so, you know, Protoss has gone for a little bit of a greedier opening with the 2-gate blink instead of a 4-gate blink. And then if you just want to go for the, you know, the straight up standard one, it's basically what MAXPAX is doing. Just going to go for the 3-gate instead. And of course he will take that expansion behind it, while putting on a little bit of pressure against Byun, just to keep him in base, make him a little bit more defensive, make him think twice before moving out. But oh, nice Widow Mine placement there, but also nice pickup there by MAXPAX, at least saving one of his stalkers. But yeah, I don't see this doing too much damage. Probably lose mainly the adepts, but should be able to save the majority of the stalkers. One stalker does go down there. Alright, I don't see okay, actually I do see Stim and Combat Shield researching now. I'm wondering if Byun will want to move out across the map in order to do a timing push. I don't see his Dirt Command Center yet. So maybe he wants to probably try to punish MAXPAX at his Dirt base. In the meantime though, it looks like we do have a little bit of a Raven backdoor harassment. Really nice of Byun, knowing that the majority of MAXPAX forces are out and about. And so he's going to go ahead and try to do a sneaky backdoor Raven harass. And actually does a decent amount of damage. Not a lot of probes going down, but it does force out, or it does cause MAXPAX to lose a bit of mining time here. And that's like not really something that MAXPAX wants right now. He wants to have his 3 bases all saturated, possibly before this attack comes across the map. But oh, it looks like Byun actually retreating instead, which is an interesting decision. I guess he just doesn't feel quite safe enough to go move out. But really, I think Byun, he's all right. He doesn't really need to move out. He did enough small harassment with the Ravens, with the Raven auto turrets to, just kind of sit back and just go for his own dirt. And again, he did not go for like a 5 racks push or anything. It was just mainly 3 racks. So yeah, he's just gonna go ahead and just play it into the mid game, it seems like. A little bit of a skirmish here out in the middle of the map. MAXPAX doing his best to try to slow down this push as much as possible. Although his injured stalkers in the front here, which is going to cause him to lose almost 2 of them. He does lose 1 of them, but there's one that is really seriously injured. Alright, third tank does arrive. A little bit kind of mushed up together. A little bit of a kind of pathing glitch here. I would love to see MAXPAX kind of like send out a bunch of charge lot on the other side to try to try to go for an attempted flank, maybe, possibly. It looks like he's sending at least 3 of them to try to at least catch some of the reinforcements, but looks like he is just going to elect to go for 1 pathway. Okay, so he brings back the 3 charge lot here. Nice surface area. And will have enough to clean up the rest of Byun's forces. So nicely done there. He bought enough time. He bought enough time to at least get the charge upgrade finished, which is the most important thing, of course, because charge lots do generally do well against these types of pushes. And of course, the Immortal adding that one Immortal adding a bit of firepower to help deal with the tank, as well as the Immortals. Or sorry, not the Immortals, the Marauders. However, it seemed like MAXPAX did sacrifice a bit of his tech in order to just push out the extra bit of units to help defend. As you can see, his upgrades is kind of lagging behind Byun. Now, luckily for MAXPAX, Byun has not elected to go for the 2-2 upgrade yet. Not quite yet. Yeah, I don't think he has his armory. Does he have his armory yet? I will try to swing back to his main base to see if he has an armory. I just want to make sure I don't miss this fight here in the middle. As Byun looks like he's gonna look to push here, and there's not a lot. Oh no! MAXPAX letting Byun get into position. He's gonna let him throw his Widow Mine. Oh, Widow Mine does get a nice juicy shot on one of the Immortals. rest of the charge lot reinforcements come through, but gets absolutely wiped out. That 1-1 upgrade really doing so much to help beef up this battle force, and MAXPAX having a lot of trouble dealing with this, and all the shield batteries has run out of energy, so there is no shield battery energy unless he does the shield battery overcharge to help out, but I think it's not going to be quite enough as the Robo gets sniped down. There is a little bit of a harassment here in the backside, but just not quite enough. And Byun, he is going to go ahead and take this first game. First up, he is the red Protoss, playing for Storm Gaming, looking to tie up the series. Can he do it? It is MAXPAX. And spawning here at the top right, he is our blue Terran player from Shopify Rebellion, and playing from Nation of Korea, it is Byun. And look at what we have here, guys. He was like, you know what, first game, I am just going to proxy, but the second game, I'm going to make you think I'm actually proxying. And so, look at this, MAXPAX. Learning from the first game, he's like, okay, now I'm going to scout. Now I'm going to be a bit extra safe. Make sure there are no shenanigans on the outskirts of my base. But unbeknownst to him, Byun actually has a fake proxy out here. I wonder if MAXPAX will be able to swing his probe that way to see it. But at the very least, he does at least scout early on, and you will see that there is no barracks, or at least there is going to be a... Yeah, there's going to be no barracks at the main base. Oh, actually, it doesn't even go fully in here. So Byun can possibly block him out, but actually does not lift off the supply depot. Unfortunately for this probe, he will have to go down. And you know what? Gotta sack. Sometimes you just gotta sack your probes for just that extra bit of scouting information. Now I wonder, did the MAXPAX actually scout the 2 gas? Oh no, actually did not scout the 2 gas. I feel like he should have gone in more deeper just to at least check it out, whether it's 1 gas versus 2 gas. Because if you kind of scout the gas count, that actually makes a bit of difference. You can kind of narrow or limit the amount of builds based on the gas counts. Alright, I like this. MAXPAX going for a different type of opening this time around. More of a Stargate centric opening. Oh, I think MAXPAX just caught the edge of that Widowmine burrow. So a nice little catch there. At least he does know where to swing his Oracle around. Make sure that it's not flying in that pathway. But this Reaper, man, Byun with his Reaper is always getting some sort of damage. Getting once again 3 probes in this early game, and this wasn't even a proxy. It was a fake proxy. And so yeah, this Byun, oh my goodness, MAXPAX, everything going wrong for him this to start this game. Loses a Stalker very carelessly, and then losing 3 probes to that 1 Reaper. Man, I'm getting a little bit afraid here for MAXPAX. Maybe he hasn't quite warmed up yet or something, but he's definitely going to have to play a little bit better here on out going forward. Alright, 6 probes Oh, sorry, 6 SCVs going down. So kind of evens up the worker count loss. Actually, it doesn't really quite even it. Actually, it pulls way ahead, as you can see in the worker count. Sometimes when you just place your widow mines in a random area, you know, you just gonna kind of get lucky sometimes. Oh wait, did he lose another Orko? Okay, okay, never mind. That's the same one, I think. No wait, that was the okay, okay. Yeah, it just went by. Okay. Alright, Widow Mine looking to get some additional kills here. Oh, it looks like MAXPAX not quite paying attention here. We'll lose 2 probes for it. Byun once again keeping up with that Raven harass, which is pretty interesting because you don't really see this as often nowadays. Usually the Raven will be kind of sit back at home to maybe, you know, catch some observers or maybe even catch some DTs if the Protoss elects to go for a Dark Templar kind of build. But I like this. Byun just being active with the Raven. Now, of course, there is a possibility whenever you move across the map with your Raven to lose it, especially if the Protoss is opening up with air tech, with the Phoenix, or maybe even Void Rays. So yeah, he will unfortunately lose his Raven here, but I think Byun is sitting pretty. I mean, he does have a decent amount of army. Got the tank as well. Got the combat shield. Finishing up as well as the +1. Ooh, nice little catch here by MAXPAX. Catch him a little bit unsieged. Or in the act of being unsieged. And that was a pretty decent pickoff. That does, of course, slow down any potential push into the third base. And here we go. Byun once again trying to go for this Raven auto turret play, but looks like MAXPAX this time is going to be prepared. He had the proxy, he had the scouting pylon at the 9 o'clock area, and so he was able to prepare for it ahead of time. So, you know, doing a really nice job babysitting the minimap. Because sometimes, you know, you kind of, you know, he was attacking at the front right here in the natural of Byun. And sometimes your attention does swerve around so that, you know, you're not quite paying attention to the minimap for those drops or even the Raven backdoor. But MAXPAX keeping up with the minimap scouting, making sure he has his stalkers and Phoenixes in place to take it down in time. And all in all, picking off 2 Ravens and 1 tank's really important units, I would say. And that kind of hinders some of Byun's potential to push, because imagine if he had those 2 Ravens right now. With this army, he could place an anti-armor missile on top of what would be a lot of stalkers and gateway units. You can do some auto turrets to kind of you know, kind of place them in between his infantry units as well as the charge lots. So I think Byun definitely wanted to keep those Ravens alive, but I don't. Maybe it won't even matter. I mean, this is still quite a really scary force. However, you gotta keep in mind that MAXPAX does have the defender's advantage, and all the energy of these medevacs has been depleted, but all the charge light has been depleted as well. Oh man, MAXPAX is gonna have to micro his stalkers really well in order to defend against this. Some more charge light reinforcements will be able to finally clean this up, but I gotta say, Byun took a really efficient trade there, I would say. Let's see here, the income loss. or sorry, not the income loss, the units loss. Yeah, a lot more minerals and more gas here lost by our red Protoss. Alright, looks like Byun is not letting up on the pressure, continuously harassing as well as pushing towards the front. As you can see, more units coming and streaming through the middle here. And what does MAXPAX has? Once again, MAXPAX is still relying on heavily gateway units. Now this time around, he's not going to be lagging behind on the upgrades compared to game number 1. It is +2 weapons versus the +1 of Byun, but it's still mainly gateway units. I do like this. He is adding that robotics bay, going to give him access to Colossus or disruptors. I would say at this point it might be smarter to go for disruptors because he is quite on the back foot, it seems like, as this army here of Byun marches on forward. Nice Widowmine shots. Q battery does get activated, which will help him defend this push right now. In the meantime, that drop here into the main base is still underway. Alright, looks like DTs will make their way onto this game. But the element of surprise has been gone now. Byun does know that there are DTs out and about. So you can see turrets being placed here in the mineral line. Don't expect these DTs to get much done, as there is a turret. Oh, there's no turret in the main base, but he does have plenty of orbitals to scan those DTs. DC here will arrive at the 12 o'clock base, but that planetary not quite ready yet, so you might have to waste a scan on that one. But in the meantime, these DTs are just kind of trying to preoccupy Byun, as MAXPAX is trying to create his Protoss Colossus ball. Because you know, one Colossus not quite scary, especially without thermal lance, and currently MAXPAX does not have thermal lance. 2 is okay. 3 is where you want to be at. Any more than that, of course, you're good. You're pretty good. Although usually you don't want to overdo it on the Colossus count. You want to kind of invest those extra gas resources into additional splash damage units like the Archon or the Disruptors. I mean, you could go Disruptors because you already have access to that robotics bay, so you know you can kind of delay the Templar Archive. And I think it wouldn't be too bad to go for Disruptors because there are already ghosts out and about, so maybe Archons and High Templars or Storm isn't probably the best answer. Right now he is trying to desperately deal with this blue Terran Force, but unfortunately he does have to cancel his Nexus here. So Byun is just keeping MAXPAX on 3 bases while he's like sitting happy on 4 bases. Let's take a look at the... Oh, actually there is no WCS mod here, unfortunately. Can't bring up the income graph, but let's take a look at the income mining thus far. As you can see, Byun mining almost 2.3k minerals, 1.1k gas. MAXPAX almost 1k below that in terms of the mineral mining, and 400 below Byun in terms of the gas mining. So yeah, looks like Byun's economy is much more healthier than MAXPAX. And really, Byun, all he needs to do is just keep MAXPAX on that 3 bases. And once again, this is really smart, knowing that MAXPAX probably doesn't have enough. And oh, it doesn't even cancel it. This is really terrible for MAXPAX because he doesn't have a bank, so he can't really afford to lose Nexuses without getting that those minerals back. So it's kind of like a slow death, right? I mean, Byun is just making sure that MAXPAX can't get his economy rolling. Here we go. 4 Colossus is pretty good, but this is a 2-2 versus the 2-1, and here we go. Byun is gonna absolutely tear this Protoss army apart. Even gets a snipe on that disruptor, and Byun looking solid. Will go ahead and put himself 2-0 in this best of 7 series. So speaking of MAXPAX, I feel like he's one of these players that just really came out of nowhere. I don't know. It just felt like for the longest time, Clem, Raynor, and Sero were the standout performers in EU. I mean, they still are, by the way. Don't get me wrong, but MAXPAX has seriously made a name for himself because, you know, besides those top 3 players in Clem, Raynor, and Sero, there has been several players that has tried to make their claim as the 4th best player. Of course, it used to be Showtime, and then all of a sudden it became Hero Marine, and then all of a sudden MAXPAX has seriously given the Hero Marine a run for his money for that, you know, the 4th best player in EU. And has had a lot of great, nice results in the past year or so. And I'm sure he's looking to even do better going forward in this 2022 year. But yeah, I think right now it's mainly Hero Marine and MAXPAX battling it out for that 4th best player in EU. Although we have seen a little bit of a dip here from Raynor as of late. I think after he took that little break or vacation, I think he really, his performance has quite dropped noticeably. He's still really great though. He's still finishing high in tournaments, but not quite winning those tournaments as he was in the past. But you know, StarCraft 2 is one of those games where if you take a break, a long break, it really hurts, as shown by a lot of the players that has gone off to the military service in Korea. You don't really see them kind of come back with at the same kind of level as they used to. It takes quite some time. You know, players like Classic, players like Gumiho, and even Byun himself. Byun, though, he came back and actually did pretty well. I would say probably the best. I mean, because he came back and only a few months later he won Chisadelphia, and he won Aces Rock as well. So he came back and really got back into really good form. Although he since then it seems like Byun has been mainly got his wins in maybe the ESL Open Cups, but not in any major events. But he always still a contender, of course. But MAXPAX, yeah, he is starting to look pretty solid. Oh boy, this is not the best start you want as a Protoss going for Phoenixes. that does mean that his Phoenix count gets reset, and that means he has to invest more gas into those Phoenixes. You usually want to stay at like a certain amount of Phoenixes, a couple of them, maybe like 5 to 8 or so. But if he had those 2 Phoenixes remaining that he just lost, if he had them still in his army, he could have probably start transitioning into other tech much sooner. But instead, he's gonna have to delay a little bit of that tech in order to continuously make those Phoenixes. And now Byun, he's knocking at the front door. And what does MAXPAX has? The shield battery is not even quite done yet. That's gonna get absolutely gunned down. And oh no, MAXPAX he is gonna go for it, down 3-0. That might be the case. He only has 3 stalkers and only a couple of Phoenixes. Gonna force some of these probes to get pulled off, but that is never what you want to do as a Protoss, is to pull probes, especially at the 6-minute mark. And the 10 probes total goes down for our Protoss. Boy, that 16 total, man. He's now down to 44 probes versus the 45 SCVs of Byun. And of course, you can't forget those mules. Those mules give him the extra boost. And as you can see, a huge spike in the income graph for Byun. And what a great opening to start off, as Byun puts himself in a great position to go into game number 4 at match points. Alright, MAXPAX just sharking around, trying to pick off anything that he can get. And at this point, he really needs to get anything he can get. Alright. Oh, did he get overextended trying to get that Raven? Was it worth it? I'm not sure. It's hard to say at this point. I think maybe it is worth it, because right now he can't afford I mean, these Phoenixes, man, it's hard to say. Either way, MAXPAX is going to have to really hope for the best defense here. He does have some nice charge at the front, but his Widow Mines just shred most of these charge lot here. And Byun is going to go ahead and just sit back a little bit more patient as he does try to clean up this little bit of her charge lot run by. MAXPAX once again trying to dive in here, but I think he might be more smarter to just fight next to the shield battery. Looks like Byun is not even gonna care. He's just gonna march on forward. Now, keep in mind that these medevacs are pretty much out of energy, so Byun, he might be the one overextending this time around. He might want to just go ahead and pull back, wait for some additional medevacs here to meet up with his forces. That might be the call, but it does give MAXPAX enough time to get that +1 armor. Alright, looks like MAXPAX building up to a Archon force. No Storm though. No Storm being researched, as he is frantically trying to defend against his attack. And I'm gonna go ahead and just activate these Widow Mines. Really smart move. Here we go. Is this gonna be it? It seems like it. It just seems like there's just way more blue than red at this point. These Phoenixes is gonna go ahead and lift off some of the reinforcements We'll also possibly get these medevacs as well. That could be a really good thing for him to pick off, but will he have enough left over for the rest of these forces? There's a lot of these marauders and marines. Ooh, gets into red life, and a nice little draw of the widow mines here by the phoenixes to do some friendly fire to Byun's army. So right now, with that, looks like Byun is gonna have to be forced to retreat for the time being, but I mean, I think Byun is okay with that. He's fine. All he needs to do is just trade out. As long as he keeps trading out, he is going to stay ahead. Alright, and with that, it looks like the rest of the Phoenix forces has been gone down. Only one Phoenix remaining, but can't really lift anything with that. And I think this is pretty much it. I mean, Byun is expanding to a fourth base while this is happening. And it looks like Byun will go into game number 3 with a 3-0 lead. Valiant effort here by MAXPAX to keep his to keep the game going. But in the end, it looks like Byun will have enough. I think this is going to be the final one. EMP on the Archons. And there we have it. Byun. He is going to put himself at match points. So the story, it seems like the pattern of this series thus far has been that MAXPAX has been really stuck or heavily reliant on gateway units a bit far too long. It seems like he's transitioning into his splash damage units a bit later than usual. Now, I don't blame him because, I mean, Byun has been kind of going for some aggressive pushes. And so, you want to make sure that you do survive and able to defend. And so you're going to have to delay your tech a little bit just to get the extra bit of units out, right? So it does make sense. But, I mean, losing the probes to like, let's say the Widow Mines, not the Widow Mines, the Raven auto turrets, and as well as the Reaper in the early game getting 3 probes. It's like MAXPAX really need to make sure he doesn't lose his probes in the early game. I think if he can kind of make sure he doesn't suffer too much losses to these early game harasses, then maybe MAXPAX can kind of solidify himself into the mid game, and then start transitioning into like Colossus or High Templars or Archons a bit quicker, in order to help deal with these timing pushes that Byun seems to be going for. Not quite enough on to kill that Hellion. 2 life. 2 health points on that Hellion. Oh man, that Hellion is so lucky. But will the Stalker get lucky? He's gonna have to face against 6 Marines, and that is gonna be not the best. But it looks like Oracle will come in just in the nick of time. But boy, 5 probes going down. And that's only to 6 Marines. Not the greatest trade here for our red Protoss friend. Once again, losing a lot of probes and workers to these little bit harassment from Byun. So, man, but MAXPAX, he's gonna have to find some way to even up this worker deficit. And I say worker deficit despite the fact that he's up ahead by like 1 or 2 probes, because at this stage, as a Protoss, you really want to be ahead by more than 1 or 2 probes. Because, of course, Terrans have Muse. And spoiler alert, Muse are pretty good. So ideally you want to be ahead by like maybe 5 to 10 or hopefully even more at this stage. But maybe, you know, with these oracles, or wait, is that one oracle? Yeah, only one oracle. Maybe with this oracle and with this maybe this blink stalker force, you can kind of try to pick off some of these units or maybe even workers to kind of, you know, kind of dig himself out of this little bit of hole that he's in right now. The good news is that he does have his third base, so he can kind of chrono boost out those lost probes a bit more quicker. But here we go. Gonna go ahead and blink up into the main base. Unfortunately, all the tech labs on the barracks are more deeper into Byun's base. But at the very least, he does at least get a favorable trade after all that. Wow, actually Byun's feeling very, very confident, picking up all, or at least the majority of his army, while these stalkers are knocking at the front door. Man, if he had a bit more warpins and he just blinked up here, and he could have actually killed these marauders and marines, but I think he knows what's up. Let me go ahead and force the recall, of course. Doing a really nice job with all these scouting vision, having these scouter pylons as well as the Phoenixes patrolling at the dead space area. Not quite too much at the right side, but this is a huge map, so it's quite a lot to cover. I don't blame him for not being able to get vision on every single inch of this map, especially when there are no watchtowers. Alright, here we go. A little bit of a separation from these marines, or sorry, these stalkers and charge lots. And oh man, I would have loved to see MAXPAX actually force field at the ramp area. Instead, he kind of retreated back into his third base, but that might have been yeah, that's pretty much it. Byun just absolutely gonna dominate the series, gonna win this Alpha Pro series 4-0, and we'll go home with the bulk of the prize pool. What a performance here by Byun.